Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving into an absolutely incredible story. Seriously, this is the story of a culturally magnificent structure rising from the ashes on the island of Okinawa, Japan, to deliver a universal message to the rest of the world. My goal today is to really unpack this narrative so that no matter where you are, especially if you're watching from the West, you can deeply understand and connect with this beautiful journey of loss, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to peace. So, let's get right into it.
So this majestic, brilliant red architecture, that is Shori Castle. For generations, it stood as a vibrant symbol of resilience and identity for the Okinawan people. But as you might know, it recently suffered a devastating fire that literally shocked the entire world. Seeing this beautiful crimson structure engulfed in flames, it was heartbreaking, but it sparked an unprecedented physical and emotional rebuilding effort. And this went way beyond just, slapping on some new wood and tiles. It surely became a powerful testament to the human spirit.
All right, let's jump into Section 1, the Crimson Castle Reborn. To really grasp why this castle holds such profound emotional weight, especially if you're not super familiar with the region's history, we need to talk about the Ryukyu Kingdom. This was a historic, independent kingdom centered right there in Okinawa. Because of its spot in the East China Sea, it wasn't just some isolated island. It was a bustling, vibrant hub of maritime trade, totally distinct from mainland Japan. It was renowned for its incredibly rich, unique culture and a proud legacy of connecting different nations together. So, Shuri Castle wasn't just a building, right? It was the beating heart of an entire civilization.
Standing as a proud testament to that legacy is the Shurimon Gate. When the flames took the main structures of this heritage site, the collective loss felt by the people was just immeasurable. It was as if a piece of their very soul had been burned away. But almost instantly, that profound grief transformed. It turned into this fierce, unbreakable determination to rebuild, not just for themselves, but to preserve that ancient Ryukyu spirit for all future generations.
Which brings us to Section 2, Rebuilt Through Shared Trials.
Notice the striking contrast here. You've got these raw, weathered hands representing the intense physical labor of the artisans, right alongside the stunning, ornate royal throne they helped produce. Rebuilding a centuries-old masterpiece requires incredibly specialized, traditional woodworking skills. And honestly, this is where the story gets truly moving. Many of the incredible woodworkers who stepped up to bring this intricate, golden throne back to life came from Kumamoto, a region on Japan's southern main island of Kyushu.
Now, here's why that matters. These Kumamoto artisans from the mainland had recently faced severe, devastating earthquakes in their own hometowns. They knew exactly what it felt like to watch their cultural heritage and their daily lives crumble in an instant. It created this profound connection of empathy. These people in Kyushu, who had just suffered their own terrifying natural disasters, well, they didn't turn inward. Instead, they crossed the sea to share their master craftsmanship and help Okinawa heal. It's just a beautiful example of how mutual support can rebuild not just walls, but entire communities.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, 300 Years of Turbulence. We can trace a sweeping 300-year journey here, from the prosperous days of the Ryukyu Kingdom back in the 1700s and 1800s to the horrific, unimaginable destruction of the 1940s during the Battle of Okinawa in World War II, where the island suffered immensely. Then we see the arduous decades of post-war recovery stretching into the 2000s, leading us finally to 2026 and the Crimson Rebirth. When we look at this flow of time, we're really translating complex historical eras into universal human themes, The inevitability of sweeping change, the devastation of loss, and the incredible, enduring power of resilient recovery.
Let's look at Section 4, the Bridge of Nations. To really understand the global message Okinawa is sending today, you absolutely need to know this term, Bankoku Shinryo. It translates to Bridge of Nations. And this isn't just a catchy slogan, it's the historical Okinawan philosophy of connecting the world through peaceful exchange, diplomacy, and mutual support. For centuries, the Ryukyu Kingdom didn't rely on military might. Actually, they survived and thrived by making themselves an indispensable, friendly bridge between the great empires of Asia. That philosophy, it's deeply woven into the very DNA of Shuri Castle.
And finally, Section 5, the 2026 Peace Declaration.
So let's fast forward to the fall of 2026, marking the victorious moment the castle officially reclaims its vibrant crimson form. But this is far more than a simple ribbon-cutting ceremony. It serves as the stage for a profoundly moving message delivered by the Emperor of Japan, broadcasting a peace declaration to the entire world from the very steps of a site that had seen so much wartime destruction. That is incredibly powerful.
During this declaration, the emperor states,
History is not merely repeated, it is an accumulation of stories, of what we learn from past mistakes, natural trials, and sorrows. What a powerful framing. It completely shifts our perspective from history being this passive loop of events to history being an active, intentional learning process. It tells us that our tragedies, whether they're fires, earthquakes, or wars, are the very textbooks from which we must learn to build a better future.
He continues with this really profound reflection: we know the preciousness of peace more than any other era in the past. Think back to that 300-year timeline we just walked through. The devastating wars, the cultural erasure, the natural disasters. The emperor is pointing out that it's precisely because of that specific accumulated trauma that our current desire for peace has to be incredibly vital and urgently protected. The people who have lost the most are usually the ones who understand the value of peace the best.
So, the crucial point is this call to action. Recognize each other's differences and walk hand in hand. I strongly hope to build that calm and certain future. This isn't just a message for Japan. It is a universal, global plea emanating from Okinawa. In a world full of uncertainty and division, the ultimate lesson drawn from the ashes of Shuri Castle is that we absolutely must embrace our differences and unite. We literally have to choose to walk hand in hand.
The restored Shuri Castle stands today as a true mirror of the past and a beacon for the future. Think about its physical construction for a second. Those brilliant red tiles on the roof were laid one by human hands working together. The emperor's message brilliantly mirrors this idea. A calm, certain, and peaceful future isn't built overnight. It's built tile by tile through daily, gentle dialogues, shared memories, and the continuous effort to actually understand one another.
Historically, a great bell at the castle, the Bridge of Nations bell, would ring out to welcome friends from across the seas. As that metaphorical bell rings into our modern future, I want to leave you with this question to consider. How will you use the lessons of our shared human history to support others in our uncertain world? How can you be a bridge of nations in your own life? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this incredible story from Okinawa stays with you long after we're done.